There is a weight that arrives in the quiet of the night. A sudden wave of fear, a dark cloud of anxiety, or a negative thought whispering that you aren't enough, that you're gonna fail, or that something terrible is right around the corner. When it happens, that thought burns hot and uncomfortable. You carry it like a heavy burden, assuming your own mind is turned against you. You sit there wondering why peace feels so impossible to hold on to, why your thoughts feel so chaotic, or why your own mind feels like a cage you can't escape. And our immediate instinct, the thing we've been trained to do our entire lives, is to fight it. We try to analyze every single negative thought that pops up. We try to argue with the doubt and prove every dark voice wrong using pure willpower and logic. We treat our minds like a battleground where we have to constantly wrestle every single intrusive thought into submission just to feel okay for a second. But that fight is exhausting, and it's never ending. The more you try to control it, analyze it, and fix it, the deeper into the spiral you go. You end up completely drained, stuck in a loop of trying to heal from a war you can't seem to win, fighting an enemy that seems unlimited in number. The reason that fight is so exhausting is because of a fundamental misunderstanding. You're fighting as if the negative thoughts inside your mind are your own. We've been conditioned to believe that every doubt, fear, or intrusive thought is born from our own weakness or some flaw in our character. We treat them as personal failings, as if we are just broken people who can't control our own heads. But if you step back and look at how these thoughts actually arrive, a pattern starts to show up. They don't always build up slowly like a natural chain of logic. They often hit out of nowhere. You can be sitting in total peace, enjoying a quiet moment, and in a single second, a sudden spike of dread or a reason why you're worthless gets dropped right into your mind. You must understand this principle immediately. Not all thoughts inside your mind are your own. A vast majority actually come from outside sources. Negative thoughts are attacks, deliberately placed in the most intimate and fragile parts of your being to intentionally break you down. You aren't crazy and you're not broken. You are simply under attack from an external force that's tricked you into believing that you're fighting yourself. Once you realize the attack is coming from the outside, you can finally begin to understand the nature of mental warfare. This really isn't just a mental game. It's spiritual warfare. In 1 Kings, Solomon prays to God, saying, "For you only, know the hearts of all the children of mankind." People often wonder if demonic entities can read our thoughts. They can't. They don't have access to the inner sanctuary of your mind. That is sacred ground between you and God. But what they can perceive in the spiritual realm is your vessel and the frequency you emit. You are an energetic being. When you are grounded in faith, stillness, and peace, your vessel operates in a completely different spiritual state than when you're panicked, angry, or afraid. According to the Book of Enoch, what we call demons are really the disembodied spirits of dead fallen angel and human hybrids. They were giants and superhumans in the physical world when they once lived. But once their physical bodies died, they are now spirits, doomed to roam endlessly through the spiritual realm. They are bitter and hateful towards God's creation and have become absolute sources of negative emotion. Literally the embodiment of each negative emotion we know. That's why they have the power to influence you with these emotions. These entities have been studying human nature for thousands of years. They know the patterns of human behavior better than any psychiatrist or doctor. So what they do is hurl a test at you. A targeted negative thought, a flash of fear, or an old painful memory. They can't look inside your head to see if it worked, so they watch for your reaction instead. They watch your biofield, the energetic torus field that flows around you in the unseen realm. They watch your energy fracture and they see you take the bait and start wrestling with the thought. The moment you engage in a sin they tempted you with, or listen to a thought of terror that they threw at you, you immediately start emitting like a beacon in the spiritual world. That is why they do it. Demons feed on negative energy manifestation. It's like a drug to them. When you claim a negative attack as your own, try to fight it with human effort, and start spiraling over it, you give a spiritual attack real power in the physical world. Your focus, your panic, and your attention are what grant them authority over your peace when they never should have any to start with. Because these energy attacks are targeting your physical vessel to get to your spirit, guarding your physical state becomes one of your strongest defenses. Understand this, the spiritual and physical world are inseparable. They're not disconnected or distant like we've been told. This is the deeper spiritual reason the Bible stresses keeping a sober mind. It isn't about following restrictive rules for rules' sake. It's about protection. A vessel that is physically compromised becomes spiritually vulnerable. When you put toxic things in your body, whether that's alcohol, drugs, or inflammatory food, it creates physical impurity within you. That physical impurity acts like a magnet in the spiritual world, giving dark entities a literal foothold to latch onto your physical body. This is why fasting is so prominent throughout the Bible. Fasting draws out that physical impurity, clears the metabolic noise, and restores your vessel to a clean, pure state. When your body is clean and your mind is sober, you become untouchable. You leave nothing in your temple for the enemy to grab hold of, making you practically fully shielded from their attacks. When you're caught in the middle of an onslaught of mental torment, it feels undeniable. In that moment, your mind will convince you that there's no way out, that the panic is permanent, and that the negative thoughts must be true. You try to use human logic to solve a spiritual trap, but every path leads back to fear. That is where we get it wrong. You were never meant to logic your way out of a spiritual siege. The Bible promises a peace that transcends human understanding. It's a peace that doesn't make sense to your circumstances, your feelings, or your logic. You don't have to figure out how to escape the maze. You don't have to figure out how the light is going to break through the dark. All you have to do in that moment is to let go. To stop trying to force a solution and simply trust the one who created the way. Different battles require different tactics. Some enemies you must raise your sword against. You have to march into the fight, hold your ground, and strike back. But there are other times when the war is outside of your power and the strongest thing you can possibly do is stop fighting. You sit down in the middle of the battlefield. You stop wrestling with the noise. You close your eyes to the chaos around you. And you wait for the power that can annihilate all the armies of darkness in a single instant. You don't fight. You stand on the promise, be still, and know that I am God. Purify your temple. Guard your frequency. Not because they're rules to follow, but because God knows how these dark entities thirst for our ruin, and He desires us to live free from them. So the next time a negative thought or fear enters your mind, remember, it's not real. It's not from your own mind, and your perception of it is not real either. It's a deception within a deception, crafted by the ancient cunning of demons. When it becomes too much to handle, simply let go of working through it. Be still and simply wait. Wait for God to supply your thoughts. You'll go from a negative energy loop to a positive one of endless blissful thoughts, the way our minds were always meant to operate. So do not worry anymore, and instead use the unlimited power you have access to. Sit down in the noise, be still, and watch Him annihilate your enemies.